Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. The May 12th edition of Monday Night Raw wasn't, the greatest Raw of all time by any means, but it came off the heels of an amazing PLE and Backlash, and it did its job in advancing a few important storylines. But first, what was the match of the night? The match of the night for the May 12th edition of Monday Night Raw was, of course, AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Yes, I know it ended with some shenanigans like most matches do on Monday Night Raw just so that they can advance whatever storylines they're trying to advance. But when you get Finn Balor and AJ Styles in the middle of the ring wrestling and having a great contest, which is mostly uninterrupted for 20 minutes on a free episode of Monday Night Raw, it's a fucking treat. It's an absolute treat. Finn Balor, AJ Styles, two of the best in the world, two of the best to ever do it in the in-ring competitor space. It's always a treat, and I thoroughly enjoyed that match. It was the match of the night. I didn't really love the main event tag team match. I thought it was just a little clunky, but those women are obviously still amazing. Roxanne Perez has been absolutely putting on heaters every time she's been on Monday Night Raw. We know how good Io Sky is. We know how good Rhea Ripley is. I'm not sold on Julia yet, but that doesn't mean I can't be. Just stating my opinion here because that's what I do, on this show. But match of the night, definitely a treat to see Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, two of the best to ever do it in the ring. And I'm glad we got to see that on Monday Night Raw. And I'm glad we got to see that whole storyline advance. I'm not sure where it's going to go or where it's going to come to a head, but eventually, Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor are going to go head to head. Maybe that's the explosion of the Judgment Day. Maybe Dom gets kicked out. Maybe Finn Balor gets kicked out, turns back babyface. There are a few options here. Don't know what's going to happen with AJ Styles, but he always needs to be involved in something, especially when we get to see him wrestle matches. We need more of that because we don't have that much more longer of AJ Styles till he hangs it up. So we want to see as much AJ Styles as possible. I thought that was the best match of the night. But now we got this sort of thing going on with the world title picture. We know Jey Uso is the world champion. We know he's going to defend now against Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event. And then Gunther finally comes out and wants to challenge and reclaim his World Heavyweight Championship after crashing out and absolutely destroying Pat McAfee at Backlash in the longest but best squash match I've ever seen of all time. Now he's refocused. Now he's back centered. Now he's not taking Jey Uso lightly. He wants that world title back. So whoever wins Jey Uso versus Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event will probably face Gunther at either Money in the Bank or the Monday right after Money in the Bank. I believe Money in the Bank is on June 7th, and so you might get that world title match. It's almost 100% guaranteed that Jey Uso is going to beat Logan Paul. If WWE really wants to throw everyone for a loop, they would have Logan Paul win that match at Saturday night's main event, and it would go nuts. I mean, the punch to Jey Uso last week on Monday Night Raw from Logan Paul, it apparently got like 16 million views on social media in 12 hours. So obviously Logan Paul has the juice. Like, he is a very, very well-known figure. And if you want to really make a shocker, a surprise moment, a massive social media moment, you have Logan Paul beat Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event. And then you have Jey Uso go back on the climb, which is where he's at his very, very best. He's doing great as a world champion right now, but he also has to sink his teeth into this sort of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker type situation. So it could possibly be a chance that he loses to Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event, but I do not think that'll happen because I think there's a longer plan. And then Gunther will face the winner of Logan Paul and Jey Uso, which will be Jey Uso. Either will face him on June 7th at Money in the Bank, or they'll do it on June 9th on Monday Night Raw, which I think would be awesome to have a world title match for a 30-minute main event on Monday Night Raw on June 9th, Jey Uso versus Gunther. I thought Goldberg was going to come out of Backlash to save Pat McAfee. I was wrong. I think Goldberg will be introduced either on June 7th at Money in the Bank or on June 9th on Monday Night Raw during this world title match between Jey Uso and Gunther, and then this will set up Gunther versus Goldberg in Saudi for Night of Champions, I believe on June 28th, because, apparently they absolutely just love paying Goldberg money in Saudi Arabia. So that's just where Goldberg is. That's where he lives. I guess that's potentially where he's going to have his last match. At least that's what I'm thinking in terms of predictions and rumors and looking ahead. And I think it's going to be Goldberg. I don't understand why it would be Goldberg would pick Gunther or why WWE would pick Gunther. Gunther is an absolute beast, a savage, a beast in the ring, a ring general, someone who can absolutely dominate someone, and they're going to have him go in there and just freaking take a spear and potentially a jackhammer from Goldberg, and that's going to be it. It's not like Goldberg can put on a longer match than 2.5 minutes. It's just he's not capable of doing that. I would have just picked someone else. An Austin Theory would have been awesome for that job, for that role, and he would have crushed it because Austin Theory is way better than people give him credit for. But Gunther, don't understand unless they change the script and they have Gunther absolutely just demolish and destroy Goldberg in Saudi and have that be Goldberg's last match ever, where he just gets decimated by Gunther, and because he's decimated so much that he never comes back to WWE ever again. That would be awesome. That would be a perfect reason why you would pick Gunther to be in that spot rather than someone else who's not one of your absolute best performers on the roster. And so I think that's going to happen. And so that removes Gunther from sort of the world title picture. And then I think we're going to see Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam for the world title. And speaking of that, we have Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. All we have is Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. So who's the third man? Yes, WWE has told us there is no third man. It's just going to be Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins. But there has to be a third man. Like, they might be telling us there is none, but I guarantee there is a third man coming at some point. Yes, you want to establish that Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins are a unit. They're a group. They got this thing figured out. They're going in it strong together. They're unified. Yes, great. But CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn are also unified. You're going to see Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. You're going to see this tag team match at Saturday night's main event. There's going to be something that happens at Money in the Bank. CM Punk is coming for Seth Rollins. He is not going to stop till he comes for Seth Rollins and destroys his whole life. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen, but Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker need a third man. So there's potential options for that. Now that Karrion Kross is absolutely growing in popularity simply because he's doing it all himself, that might be the perfect person to join the group. That's a killer. That guy's massive, strong. He can work. He's building himself up tremendously all by himself. So Karrion Kross could be a great third member to that group. So it'd be Rollins, Breaker, Kross. Also, you could have someone from NXT potentially. You could have an Austin Theory. You could have a Carmelo Hayes. You could have an Ethan Page. All of these are really good options to join this group. You could also have a Drew McIntyre, even though he lives on SmackDown and he's feuding with Damian Priest. Potentially could have him move over and join this group. An option, but I think Drew McIntyre is going to sell his soul to The Rock. He already did. Obviously, he's in a Project Rock collection. He obviously already sold his soul to The Rock for a little bit of money. He's going to join John Cena, and that's going to be done there with Drew McIntyre. So you have to have a third guy, because then it evens out. Yes, you have Paul Heyman, but everyone knows he's not a professional wrestler. He's not going to wrestle. He is the greatest of all time at what he does. But I think the third man in this group is really, really interesting to see how it unfolds. But I think those few things are going to happen with the world title picture. I think we're going to see a third man join Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker to take on Uso and Punk and Sami Zayn, potentially leading to this huge matchup of Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins at this 2-night event of SummerSlam. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, what you're looking forward to, predictions, rumors, anything you agree, disagree with, and absolutely love to hear from you. And please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.